I'm going to redefine feminism, but not in that cliche, typical girl power sense. I'm going to literally redefine the word, because I believe that in order to give this movement justice, the word must change from feminism to gender equality. Middle school was the first time that I started to question the word feminism. I vividly remember a conversation I was having with my sister when she turned to me and asked, "Are you a feminist?" I was quick to defend myself. "Of course not," I responded. "I'm not any better than boys, and boys aren't any better than me." I distinctly remember how indignant I was over being asked such a seemingly offensive question. Because of course, the word feminism reeks of negative connotations. Man-hating, feminazis, type of female supremacy. So then I went home and I actually started looking up this term, and I discovered that a feminist at its core is defined as a person who believes in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. Now, I knew right away that I agreed with this definition. So I was, in fact, a feminist. And I wore this label proudly for 3 years, until I reached high school, when the concept of feminism was everywhere. Emma Watson had just released her inspiring speech about gender equality to the United Nations and launched He for She. Malala Yousafzai had just co-authored her best-selling book, I Am Malala, and YouTubers were releasing opinion vlogs on feminism. Just about everybody seemed to have something to say on the topic. But when I got to my freshman year of high school, I noticed that people began to cringe when they heard the word feminism. They made jokes about how feminists wanted to destroy the patriarchy, and slowly but surely, I began to perceive that word as an insult. And the fact that I was an advocate for gender equality became my little secret. And I began to notice others around myself doing the same. The reluctance of individuals to adopt a feminist identity, despite agreeing with feminist ideals, is known as the feminist paradox. Today, people who agree with the concept of gender equality are actively choosing not to identify as feminists. In 2016, the Huffington Post polled 1,000 random American adults, and they discovered that 23% of them called themselves feminists, but an overwhelming 82% believe that men and women should be social, political, and economic equals. So the majority of Americans agree with feminism, but only the minority are willing to take up the label. From this we can see that it's not gender equality that people have an issue with. It's the word feminism. So why is the feminist paradox so prevalent? From my observations, there are 2 main reasons for this. The first is the root of the word itself. Because the word feminism has the prefix fem, it's generally perceived that this movement is advocating to put females above men, while in reality it's actually just advocating equality. This causes many to reject the label altogether because they don't want to be perceived as man-hating radicalists. In reality, feminism refers to gender equality, but some argue that the word feminism should be kept because it acknowledges the need for improved rights for females. But we need to remember that feminism refers to gender equality, including rights for males. So this word is misleading people to believe that feminism is only about females and has nothing to do with males. This is isolating an entire gender from the conversation of gender equality, which is detrimental to the movement's success. The second reason for the feminist paradox are stereotypes associated with the word feminist. In 2008, researchers Haburas and Carter polled 1,000 American individuals on their definitions of feminism. And they found that while most of them agreed with reproductive rights, equal pay, and the elimination of gender discrimination, when asked to describe a feminist, they responded with whiny, superior, dislikes men, and has negative personal characteristics. It's clear that this word reeks of stereotypes and negative connotations. Furthermore, in a study conducted by the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, photographs of 30 young women were shown to a group of undergraduates, and they were told to do 2 things. Firstly, identify which of these women that they believed were feminists, and secondly, rank their attractiveness. And it was found that the women who were considered the least attractive were consistently considered feminists. So, just based off of physical appearances alone, it's evident that being a feminist is associated with being unattractive. Nobody wants to be considered unattractive, whiny, man-hating, or superior, and the existence of these stereotypes has exacerbated the emergence of the feminist paradox. How can the gender equality movement thrive if one respects the principles of feminism, but consciously denies the feminist label? When girls like myself can't call themselves feminists without fear of being judged, we won't openly share our views. when men are made fun of for supporting a so-called man-hating institution such as feminism, they won't educate others on the fact that feminism is about both men and women. And when women are considered unattractive for being feminists, they won't openly advocate gender equality. We will never come close to gender equality if people aren't openly spreading the movement and encouraging others to do so as well. Instead, the movement's reputation will continue to be tainted. So, in order to maintain the integrity of feminism, while acknowledging the strife of both men and women, the word itself must change. If we call the movement of feminism what it is, and match the word to its true definition, the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes, then the question mark goes away. Everybody can find flaws with feminism, but nobody